What's going on, everybody? This is Clark Beckham, former runner-up of American Idol. You're watching the Idol Breakdown, and this is it. We're going straight into the top 24. At the very end of this episode, I will give you my top 12. It was hard to pick just 12. I tried to do top 10, but I just couldn't. In order, I will show you who I think is the best, or my favorite. I should say my favorite of the season. Let's get into duets. First, we have Thunderstorm and Drew.
Take me back to the night we met.
Oh my gosh. It's the same story every time, but I feel like it was even more so this time. I am just drawn in like a tractor beam to Thunderstorm when he sings. And the way that he looks into Drew's eyes, or into the eyes of the camera, whoever he's singing to when he does sing, just draws me in. And that is a factor that people sleep on. They think of how good are my runs. They think of how good is my tone. Should I sprinkle here? Should I dial things back? How about you just start with connecting deeply to the person you're singing to, whether that's a duet partner or the person on the other side of the camera or the audience, because someone needs to be connected to and have a connection emotionally. And that's what you can offer. And music is an unbelievably effective tool to pierce through the divisions of soul and spirit, joint and marrow, all the way down. There's a whole theological discussion about that, which is another video, but that's the tool we have, and Thunderstorm wields it like an expert, as good as anyone I've ever seen in my entire life. And Drew is that way as well. I loved this. This might have been my favorite duet, and we have some really great ones. One thought, they deliberate and they decide who goes through when they're done singing. And that might be like, okay, and? I think they have a pretty good idea on who they want in the top 24 before anybody sings their duet. Because I mean, if they were just like, I think this person should go through, I think this person should go through, and there wasn't like a number that they were trying to get to, sure, you could do it that way. But if there's, at this point, 20 spots open for the top 24, and you're just deciding as they go, you have to have a plan, or you're going to run out of numbers, or you're going to get to the end and go, oh crap, so-and-so should have had this spot, but we have 3 spots left, and we have only 4 people, or 3 people, or 2 people, or whatever. They probably had to plan ahead and have an idea, a strong idea of who was going to go through. I don't know how they figured this out, because some people didn't make it through that would have been a shock before their performance, and then after they kind of sealed their fate. I don't know how they did this, but they had a strong idea of who's going through. Maybe there was a weird thing in the edit where they did decide at the end. I don't know, but that was a little telling to me. Let's go on to our first heartbreak of the season. Let's talk about Sonny and Shay.
In all the good times I find myself longing.
I picked Sonny from the beginning as my number 1, as my favorite to win the whole thing. And we say goodbye to Sonny. Now, I'm not up in arms. I get it. He gave one of my favorite auditions of the season, and I know him. I've been a fan of his before the show and know how amazing he is. But time and time again, the 2 performances we have seen since his audition were laced with trying too hard, in my opinion, from my observation. It was, let me do the run, let me do the thing, let me sound good, instead of let me connect deeply to what the song's about. How that comes across is we're distracted by notes and we don't feel anything. And of course, there was an element of him just being really nervous and messing up here and there. He was really disappointed with himself immediately after, even before they deliberated. You could tell, you could just see it on his face. In contrast, Shay, like Carrie said, was cool as a cucumber, just really separated himself, not just from Sonny, but from everyone, as super pro. And that's what playing with a band will do, is it will separate the people who are really good at one thing, performing by themselves, or have an audition, and people who are like, cool, add on the pressure, pile it on, and I will do even better. That's what Shay does here. An example of doing too much or just not connecting is like the runs at the top. I think it was Shallow that they sang. So in the beginning, instead of tell me something, girl, it was tell me something, girl. It's like, okay, that's cool, but it's immediately like just it's not connected to really wanting to tell this girl something. You know what I mean? And the harmony runs, I think, were cool. I think it would have been cool if they would have both, honestly, just done the first line straight. Tell me something, girl. Ah, da, da, da. And then when they did the harmony, I'm like barely sure that they did that song, but whatever song they did. When they did the harmony runs, that could have been the first introduction to a little spice. And just lay it down simple. And you would know that if your first intention is to tell the song. The song is not to sound like a broken record, but the song is the vehicle that will take you to the gold. Your voice is not. Your voice is not. Your voice, if it serves a song, will make the song and the performance gold. If you're trying to serve your voice, you'll find bronze. Bronze is cool, but not when it's next to gold. He's forgetting some words. Shay's tone and range was just unbelievable. Not only was he cool, a cool cat the whole time and steady, but his tone and range was just amazing. And I hate that we had to see Sunny go, but I get it. Unfortunately, the performances we saw in Hollywood, he just didn't rise to the occasion, and that's what happens when you have a stacked season like this. Did not like that. One thing that I do like is when you like this video. So this is just a reminder. I think I've realized that the people who are going to like the video are just going to like it, and people that don't just were like, you know what, I'm not going to do it. So I'll just say, this is a reminder, like the video if you like the video. Grayson and Penny. I think they nailed this arrangement. Lionel said it was perfect. I agree. I cannot imagine them doing this any better than they did. They stuck to their strengths. They must have I assume they knew the song before, because there are a lot of lyrics and it looked like they have sung this song all their lives. Really, truly a flawless performance, and nothing more to say about that. Josh and Mikey. One thing that I caught a couple times with different contestants, not just Josh, but randomly throughout, we got a lot of contestants that are complaining about how tough this is. Now, granted, I promise you, unless you're a contestant that's listening to this right now, you don't understand how hard Hollywood Week is and how hard this was. Some Hollywood Weeks have been easier than others, but this one, when they end the night and go, okay, we're going to do duets, and you have 24 hours to figure this out. You don't really have 24. It's more like 10 or 12 tops, maybe 8 hours to do this. It's like, okay, you probably get to the hotel, and in the room where they reveal the songs and they have Jelly Roll and you're waiting for the cameras and everything to get ready, you actually start probably at midnight, maybe 11:30 p.m. And they're like, hey, by the way, bus call 7 a.m. Here are the songs that you have to learn. And then when you saw them writing their names down, that wasn't just like claiming that song. It was also putting them in order of when they could rehearse that song with the vocal coach, because they have to get approval from the vocal coach of their song and their key before they can go to bed, basically. So that all happens. You have to wait and wait and wait, and then you can go sing for the vocal coach and then feel good about it and then maybe go to sleep. Some of them said they didn't get any sleep. I fully believe them. Some of them were running on fumes and said, I got an hour, 2 hours. I fully believe it. However, part of this competition is how good are you under that stress? Because there will be times in your career, many times, where you will be in this situation where you got to perform really well and you got to maybe learn a song. You got to maybe sing with someone you never sung with before, or you got to do a whole set on little to no sleep. How good are you at doing this? Are you going to complain and then do well? Or are you going to invite it, not complain, and do really well? Obviously, it's great if you can do really well no matter how you feel about it, if you're complaining or not. It's better if you just like, yep, feel great, ready for it, love it, grateful to be here, I'm going to kill it, and that's fine. Yeah, I have to figure out how to do this song before the morning. I might not get any sleep, but other people have to figure out how to unclog a toilet or how to fix their flooding issue or how to do a bunch of things in their job that they don't really want to do. And I get to figure out how to sing really well on national television to showcase the thing that I believe I'm called to do and God has given me the gift to do and aligns with my purpose. So there's the mentality. Have gratitude all the time. It's the secret sauce to doing well in this show. Now that I say that, when they started to perform, Josh was kind of leaning on Mikey, and I will give you some inside information because I was in contact with Josh during this performance or this day, like Hollywood Week, because he's a student of mine, and something I offer students is they can reach out anytime about these things. And he was under so much, not just stress, but pain, losing his voice a little bit, really struggling with lyrics and really freaking out about it, and had like a pretty significant foot injury. So he wasn't leaning on Mikey as a vibe, even though it was one that I was into, even if his foot was fine. He could barely walk. I'm surprised they didn't like hone in on that, the cameras, and they didn't like make a story out of it. But he was leaning and snapping to make it work because he could barely walk, not because he was trying to make a vibe work, even though, once again, I thought it was a vibe and I thought it did work. I thought they did great. Josh grooving at the top, like snapping and like feeling it. I thought that was great and fit in really well. And I thought they killed it. I thought the edit was good. I thought they sounded great. I love how they walked and they came down and singing to Carrie. I think Josh has won Carrie's heart when at first, I don't think she was into him. I thought she thought he was maybe a little cocky or arrogant. And now he's showing his true self, which is like quirky, fun, charming, good kid, loves people, that kind of a thing. And I thought Mikey was good. I still think we have barely seen the best of Mikey. I think he's got way more to offer. His responsibility is to showcase that. And honestly, he should have been showcasing it this entire time because this first vote from Top 24 is not just contingent on the performance they will have in Hawaii. It's contingent on everything we've seen. In my opinion, he has missed some opportunities to dazzle because he's that good by not great song choices and not really showing off. So I hope he really explodes in this Top 24 performance. Victor and Amanda.
Come on now.
Let's go Victor. I know Amanda's great. She's killer. She's always great. Victor has been someone that's always been like, I don't know. I thought this was awesome. I thought he was going for it. I thought he sounded great, was just all the way bought in. I thought Amanda was great. I don't know why, but there is a bit of sparkle that is starting to leave for me on Amanda. And I don't know if it's because she's focusing too much on how to sing well instead of, like I said before, really connecting emotionally to the song. Dude, Nina Simone used to sing, close her eyes. I'm not saying you should close your eyes, but she used to be so enveloped in the song that when people would applaud, it would startle her because she forgot that people were there. She was so inside of the song. And that might sound crazy. It sounded crazy when I heard it. And honestly, I was calling BS when someone told me that. And I watched the video of her being startled and still called BS. I was like, give me a break, lady. But then I started to really dive into songs when I would perform and actually got startled once or twice by the applause. That's what we want. We want you so deep in the song that you are using your instrument to interface with this beautiful miracle that is music and this phenomenon that is harmony and melody and rhythm and tone and lyric, that you forget you're even singing for American Idol. That's where the juice is, because her instrument is sharp, 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 and can cut through any heart like hot knife in butter. if she just really connects. And right now, I think I'm just getting a showcase of a sports car, and she's doing great, but I would like to feel it a little more instead. Kiana and Yanni.
Please, 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 don't prove I'm right.
We say goodbye to Yanni, and she cries, and it made me sad because she's so good. She has an incredible talent. We did see her audition. She was the one that sang the Sunday Night Football thing, and where I raged because the judges weren't taking her seriously, and she's a seriously amazing singer. She gets cut. I think it's just a product of how incredible the top 24 is. I think she could have made it if I was a judge and making the decision. I didn't see her other performances, so I don't know where she's at level-wise and the potential she had for top 24 and continuing into the show, but I think she's a better singer than some of the people that got through, and that's just simply because she's, I think, one of the best singers there. So we say goodbye to her, which is a bummer. Then we get hit with a handful of cuts, some auditioners that were really, really strong, some great auditions that we saw go away. LaShawn and Bryson, those were bummers. And then we have Nina and Slater.
Remember every moment on the nights with you.
I think I said this last time, but every time Slater sings, it's better and better. He's got a ton of soul and does a great job. We say goodbye to Nina, which is a bummer, but boy, I've talked about how Idol goes on a pendulum, talent to story, and last year was a lot of story and not as star-studded when we talk about just strict raw vocal talent. This is the opposite end of the spectrum here. We are just loaded with monster crazy freakazoid singers, and unfortunately that means we get a lot of incredible singers and incredible artists that don't make the top 24 because that's just the nature of it, and Nina's one of those casualties in the show. Then we have Bailey and Kayleen. I wasn't a big fan of this one. Kayleen is, I thought it was a bad pairing. Kayleen is belting and like putting all the power in the whole world, and that's not Bailey's thing. But it feels like he is trying to just hold on and do what she's doing and belt with her. I almost imagine, I don't know if this happened, but I imagine like she maybe was headstrong and was like, this is what we're going to do. Let's do this song. And he's like, all right, cool. And they do it, and then it calls for a lot of belting, and he's just like, oh, I guess I got to do that, which is not really his thing. So I didn't like the song choice, didn't like the pairing. Bailey hasn't struck me yet like he did in his audition, and I'm waiting for that to happen, and I wonder if it's going to happen or if it was just a really strong audition that we don't really see again. We do say goodbye to Kayleen. Let's talk about John Foster and Clara.
Never fall in love again until I found her.
John, again, it's old school, classic country, good old boy with a cowboy hat, which I don't know if that has a space in like deep into the competition or even in this modern world of popular music right now. But you just can't argue with how good he is. Pitch is great. His personality's great. He's authentic. He's telling the story of the song really well. He's a pro. Like, he just keeps knocking it out of the park. So I think it's a great decision to keep him in the top 24 and let, all right, America, if you do want someone like this, here's a great opportunity of a country boy who is authentic and really, really great. Clara, we say goodbye to, which is a bummer because she was great in this duet, and I really loved her audition. But again, with these cuts, people got to get cut, and unfortunately, we say goodbye to her. This is just a reminder. I talk about how tough the night probably was of duets with a little sleep. Dude, 4 people didn't even have to do it. Maddie, Gabby, Kanan, and someone else that I can't remember. They're just chilling, dude. They didn't like, cool, I get all the sleep that I want. And Kanan didn't have to do the first round. So it's like, cool. Like he gets to kind of coast through and he deserves it. But I kind of would have liked to hear Kanan sing some more for the benefit of the show. And my emotional health. It just gets a lot better when I'm hearing him sing. But boy, they don't even have to worry about this no sleep experience. But people who do, two other platinum ticket holders that do have to go through this, is Philo and Colby. Colby's an unbelievable singer, and unfortunately, that's the only thing that I know after I hear her sing is how good she is, but my heart is untouched. It's not moved at all. I feel like there's nothing behind the runs other than, all right, my time to shine. I better do runs and sing really high so that I make it through. That is all I feel is behind her runs instead of whatever the song's about. Brian McKnight's really great at this. Every run Brian McKnight does is in line with the heartbreak of whatever the song is, or the joy of whatever the song is, or the love. That's what we want, and I have yet to get that from Colby. All I get from Colby is world-class singing, but that is the counterfeit reward of music, is just hearing really great singers. We want to feel something, and I don't feel a lot when she sings these notes because I think she's just trying to impress people and trying to get through and not trying to communicate. Philo, a little bit of the same. Not quite as much. His tone is so good. His rasp when it comes in is so nice. I would say 75 to 80% is just gravy, and it's wonderful. And then he just has little flares of runs that don't complement the vibe of the song and the emotion of it. That's possible. That for him, they do line up, and he's really genuinely feeling those. It's just a lot of notes for me to really line up with that feeling. I'm believing the song, and I'm believing what he's saying, and then he does a giant run, and it takes me completely out. A great example of this, done the right way, is Jamal. Jamal does a lot of runs. He does a lot of things, and I believe all of them. It like pulls me in, and it's almost synonymous with crying. Like it feels like he's emoting in the same way as someone cries. He's running, and it feels like that same type of cathartic function. That's what we need when we're looking at runs or really high notes. Connect those, and we are in heaven, especially with talent like Philo and Colby. Let's talk about Isaiah and Crystal. Just keeps getting better and better. When he starts to sing, he jumps off the stage. This voice and his demeanor and his relaxed face and eyes open just stands way, 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 way out. I thought he held it together. The chorus at first, like, oop, that's too high. And then the second time he sang it, it was really strong, and he was nailing all the notes. I'm like, oh, okay. So could have been nerves, could have been just a lack of breath support that really got there. Could still be too high, but he had the capability and hung in there, and he sang in her key, dude. So his range is pretty crazy. And the middle of his range and the low part of his range is great. His communication is fantastic. He's killing it. We say goodbye to Crystal, which is sad because she's also awesome. We're getting introduced to a lot of these singers that we haven't heard before until now, and we're like, dang, where have they been? But again, American Idol doesn't really want us to fall in love with people that they're just going to cut. So that's why they don't show a lot of these great singers that don't make it to top 24 when they could show us singers who do, and we could fall in love with people who do make it, because that's better for the show, and it's better for us, honestly. So that's, I think, why we're getting introduced to all these new singers that we hadn't heard yet. Cruz and Cameron. Cameron is a great singer. He's got great tone, but as far as the performance ability, it's just vacant. Doesn't have it. And that's fine. That would come with a couple years of experience in performing. Wouldn't be a problem at all. They are two completely different skill sets, singing and performing. And singing is really great for him. That's how he got through all the way to the judges, and then, of course, all the way to Hollywood. Performing is the only reason why he got cut, is because he is visually rolling the eyes in the back of his head, thinking like, gee, golly shucks, what am I doing? And that's fine. that's just a product of no experience and an inability to step on the stage, take the mic, and rip it. Cruz is a professional, and it's real clear next to Cameron in this regard. They're both fantastic singers, but you can see the difference. And the only difference is Cruz has done this a long time, and he's done this a lot. And he has the stage presence, he has the confidence, he knows how to take advantage of the situation and rip it, and that's what he does. Unfortunately, they both go. I think there probably was only room for one, and I think John is that classic country guy that made it, and I think that's a good decision, even though Cruz was great, and they showed him a lot. He got a lot of screen time and represented himself very well. He should be very proud. Jamal and Desmond.
More thinking about you late night. More running around with your friends now.
Good to see Desmond. I'm so happy he made it. When we didn't see him a lot, I was getting nervous that he didn't make top 24. And Jamal, I knew probably did because one, he's amazing. And second, he's shown all the time. And I have zero complaints about that. He's one of my favorites, which you'll see in the top 12 that I make, which I'll reveal in just a second. But before we do that, also haven't mentioned Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll's been here the whole time and is killing it. Great mentor, and he has a lot of funny sayings, but one that he said, I was like, that one, nailed it. He said, when you're singing from the right space, there are no bad decisions, which is exactly what I've been trying to say this entire time, and exactly what any great vocal coach I've ever had tells me. And for some reason, we just don't believe it. It's like we have to hit 30 until we really believe it, and we'll go, oh, it's really all about that. If we're singing from the right space, from the right mental space of telling the story of the song, everything falls into line. We can't oversing. We make better arrangements. Everything works out if we just prioritize the song and the message and realize that that is the vehicle that takes us to gold, to the ultimate reward of music. Otherwise, we're just trying to make a science of it, and we're trying to make this equation and recreate something great that we'll never find ourselves if we just keep focusing on the science of it instead of the message of the song. I thought this was They had some struggles finding a song, rehearsing, learning the song, and they held it together. Also, when they're doing a song that is unrehearsed and they did not have this prepared until, the night before, obviously there's going to be a fall off in ability in performance. For a lot of these guys, some of them just rise up and kill it. That's the product of just being awesome and a pro and rising to the occasion. But there are going to be some who drop in their quality. And this was the case with Jamal and Desmond. Jamal looked like he was struggling for his life, which is not good. You want to always just rise up to the occasion and kill it. But to not know the song the night before in a high stakes situation and have no sleep, that's hard to really handle. And he wasn't handling it great, but when he started singing, it was good. Overall, this was not one of their best performances, but I'm so glad Desmond made it, and I knew because of how great Jamal's been that he was going to make it no matter what. And then we end with Brianna and Riley. Two great singers, very similar singers. We say goodbye to Riley and hello to Brianna in the top 24. And we all kind of knew this was going to happen regardless of the performance because we've seen a lot of Brianna, and that was the first time I remember seeing Riley. This is what I loved about Brianna in this performance. This was the first time that she sang a verse in the middle of her range where she wasn't belting, which is her strength. And I was all the way in. I was wrapped up in it. Believed every word, and I think it's because she was believing every word. She's made it clear that her Christian faith is a huge connection point to her, something that's very real and something that she's very passionate about, and that's why this song, I think, went over so well, and the verse was so good and so powerful and meaningful because she believed it. The key is, okay, what about when you're singing another song that you don't relate to directly? How do you do the mental work like a great actor does to connect to that character, connect to that person, this message, and really feel it just as much as you feel a worship song that you're deeply connected to naturally? This has kind of turned into the most Christian season of Idol ever with all the gospel singers and Brianna. And like when they're singing, like 80% of the contestants at least are standing up and raising their hands and worshiping like it's church. I'm interested to see how much of this we continue to get. Christian songs, gospel songs. Like just before it was like, okay, cool, you can do the Christian thing, but you have to do pop for American Idol. Now it's like, I think they're open to just straight up gospel or straight up CCM. And that genre of music is expanding musically and getting a little more complex and musically stimulating, where I think you can show off a lot of your range and your ability as an artist in that genre of music, specifically contemporary Christian music, which is also known as CCM. Our top 24 is Kanan, Gabby, Zaylee, Maddie, Thunderstorm, Drew, Shay, Grayson, Penny, Mikey, Josh, Amanda, Victor, Kiana, Slater, Bailey, John Foster, Philo, Colby, Isaiah, also known as Samoan Silk, Olivier, Desmond, Jamal, and Brianna. My top 12, these are in order of my favorites, which means absolutely nothing except that these are just my favorites. These are not necessarily the best singers or the people that I think are going to go the farthest. This isn't my top 12 prediction. This is just, for me, my top 12 favorite contestants of that 24. And it starts with number 1, Shay. His tone, his soulfulness, his delivery, and his way of performing and executing. Every time he comes up on stage, he murders it, and he's not trying at all. It's all sincere. It's all authentic. He has mastered that art. Next is Thunderstorm. I'm just connected to him when he sings as much or more than anybody else I can even think of. Next, number 3 is Jamal. Still my favorite performance of the season, and I still listen to it all the time. What he did in Arena Round, that my heart won't let me let her go, something like that. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Maddie Pruitt, she's one that she sings and you realize, oh, that's what a good singer sounds like. Philo, maybe the best instrument of the show. You could argue Kanan's right there. But he just has so much to offer. I'm waiting for him to put it all together. Then you've got Isaiah, Samoan Silk. He and Philo, for me, were neck and neck on who would be on that number 5 spot. Isaiah just getting better and better and better, has a ton of ability and great tone, and is really connecting and on the performance side of things 95% of the time. Sometimes you get a little bit of a look at me, look what I can do run that takes me out of it. But for the most part, he is crushing. Amanda Baris. Amanda might be the best technician, the best singer and application of that voice that she has. Josh King, still can't wait for you guys to really see him play piano and see all of his musicality and play that harmonica. And he's got a monster, freaky voice too that you guys haven't even seen yet. Brianna, now that she's got that verse, middle of her range locked in, hopefully that stays. Her powerful, dynamic, super TNT voice is so fun to listen to if she can put all that together. And then Kanan at number 10. And you guys are probably like, what? How is Kanan number 10? Maybe it's because I haven't heard him a lot. Maybe it's just because I feel like I've heard that singer before. Like, he's as good as it gets, ability-wise. But I've heard the gospel singers that sing these songs, and they kill it. And maybe it's because I grew up around a lot of these singers, but he's just not offering a lot of new to me. He's just offering like world-class talent and ability, doing things I've heard all my life already. That's maybe why he's at 10 for me. Slater is at 11, bringing a lot to the table with his songwriting and his personality, and I guarantee those hip movements, those dance moves are going to be a staple that we look for every single performance, which I may or may not be looking forward to. And then number 12 is Zaylee, and it feels weird to have Zaylee down here at 12. But I'm just such a fan, and there's so many great singers, such great talent. There are a couple couple singers, couple contestants that it's like, how are they not in my top 10 or my top 12? It's just a stacked group, dude. And this list will move probably every week, and I'll let you know what it is. But I think Zaylee has a lot of character. She's very interesting, has a huge voice, has a lot of artistry there. And we got a killer group of singers, dude. Killer group of singers. If you're watching this as a premiere, which you should, it's every Wednesday and Friday night, 7 p.m. Central Time, you can watch the live Q&A, which is right after this with me. If you're a member, you can ask any question you want, and I will answer. To be a member, it's $5 a month, and you can just click the join button below this video or on my channel and have access to many questions as you want to ask me, and I'll answer them on these live streams. If you're not a member and you just have one question that you're really dying to ask, that's cool too. You can just send it in a super chat, and then I'll answer that question immediately. And I will keep the live stream going for as long as we have those super chat questions coming. Other than that, I'll see you guys next week. I guess we're in Hawaii. Definitely not Oklahoma. But yeah, Hawaii. It's going to be fun. See you there.